All right, we're live again with our Migrant Women Reality Watch once again. And actually today we were supposed to host Ana Sofia Fernandez, who is the president of the Portuguese Platform for Women's Rights, but unfortunately she couldn't participate, but she will be with us next week at the same time on Wednesday in the evening. But we were very lucky to get someone else today, and her name is Cristina, and she is with an organization in Spain called Women for Abolition, and they are organizing in a few days the big International Abolitionist March, and Cristina will be able to tell us about this and about their work generally as an organization. So if we can start, Cristina, just with an introduction of the organization that you're part of, and also the situation of prostitution, sexual exploitation, what's happening in Spain, and why you came up with this idea at all.
Well, thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity to talk about our march. Women for Abolition was born in 2018 with the idea of holding annual marches in different parts of Spain. We performed our first march in 2019, last year in Barcelona. And we're supposed to do like a march every year. Last year, it was about abolition of prostitution and surrogacy. And this year, we're incorporating another 2 points, which are the abolition of gender and the abolition of pornography. The idea comes from, well, basically realizing about and, knowing about like sexual violence in Spain in general, but also all over Europe and all over the world. We, especially in Spain, is pretty bad, especially prostitution, because we are, I think it's the second country in the world after Thailand in sexual tourism. So that's why prostitution is one of our main points. But yeah, I mean, we are abolitionists of sexual oppression for women in general. That's why we have these 4 points. And well, in us, we are an organization made of like women. We have a presence mainly in Spain, but also in other parts of, for example, North America or South America. We have a presence in other countries in Europe as well. And we're like a non-partisan organization. It's just like we don't have like public funding or whatever. We're just like a group of women trying to, claim the end of sexual violence, basically.
Mm-hmm. And Cristina, when you said that Spain is in the second place after Thailand for sexual tourism, do you know why this is the case?
Well, I think there are several reasons. The kind of like the geographic position of Spain, I think it counts, because it's kind of like an entry through Europe, coming from America and coming from Asia as well. So the geographical position, I think it's crucial. But I would say that also the kind of like the decriminalization of pimping, the pimp industry, and kind of like the lack of regulation and the lack of criminalization of like punchers and pimps, that also contributes, I think. And because we have because Spain, I think it receives a lot of tourism from all other parts of Europe. So that's why it's kind of like a meeting point, I guess, for a lot of companies and a lot of men that are just looking for that.
Mm-hmm. And what your group, and I understand this may be not like a formal NGO and you don't receive funding, so you're more like activist group, but you have some concrete goals and objectives, I presume. And I understand that in one big general way, it can be described as the abolition of prostitution or pornography. But concretely, in terms of laws and in terms of actions that you want the Spanish government to take, what would they be?
So we're preparing kind of like a document that we're going to submit to the government with all our specific vindications. We specifically, in regards to prostitution, we're looking to implement a law that has the basis of the Swedish law of the Nordic model. We're trying to implement that in Spain, that it's also I think it's in France, and Canada has a little bit similar legislation too. So I would say in regards to prostitution, it would be a Nordic model. In regards to surrogacy, the problem that we have is that right now, surrogacy is not legal in Spain, but it is legal to register a child, to register a baby when you buy it outside of Spain and you bring it back, and that's legal. So we're looking to actually change that. It's not even a law. It's kind of like well, we're looking to change that legislation as well, and to say that it is not legal to register, babies bought outside of Spain. So we're looking for that too. And in pornography and gender, well, about gender identity, right now in the parliament, in the Spanish parliament, gender identity law national, it's under discussion. We want to stop that. We think that's going to harm women, and that's going to harm our sexual rights. So we want to stop that. And in regards to pornography, I think we'll be looking to kind of like these attempts that are being done in the UK in regards to regulating pornography and regulating, for example, starting with children, basically like how children, they have access to pornography, and that's not being controlled in any way, right? So yeah, but to sum up, like we're gonna come up with like a document of our specific claims that we are actually gonna submit to the parliament in September. So, but in general terms, that'll be it.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the political climate in Spain, what are your expectations? Like, the parties that are in power, and you had recently, they formed finally some kind of coalition, I think, in the government, right? So what are your expectations? Do you think it's a positive climate for your agenda?
For us, it's very difficult, to be honest, because so before the elections, this left party called PSOE, they kind of like were agreeing with the feminist in the sense of abolishing prostitution. Like they were kind of like more favorable to the implementation of the Nordic model in Spain. But since they've made these agreements with this other party, which is supposed to be like even more left, it turns out that they said that, now abolition of prostitution is not a priority. And on top of that, this party, which is more lefty, it's the main party who is advocating for the gender identity laws. So we're very disappointed. Like I think there's a general disappointment with the left all over the world, and like for women, like what it regards to like women's rights, and Spain is not an exception. Like we're really, really disappointed, and from Women for Abolition, we're just trying to push, and we're just trying to do our activism, and we're just trying to kind of like get out of our social media and virtual as much as we can, given the circumstances. But that's why we came out with the idea of the marches, because we wanted to take the streets and say, like, this is enough. Like we want a commitment from the governments, basically.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting point that you're making about the situation with the left. I mean, for me, I was born in the Soviet Union, and it's quite ironic to see some people or parties calling themselves communists or socialists and being absolutely at ease with commercializing, particularly women's bodies, including, of course, it includes the prostitution, pornography, and surrogacy as well. So yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, it's so disappointed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it definitely this subject deserves a program on its own.
Yeah, totally.
To analyze it, because I think women have been left as kind of politically homeless right now. But I mean, women with serious feminist analysis and structural analysis and political analysis. But going back to your organization and your agenda, so you are organizing this march for the abolition.
Right.
It will be on the 9th of May in 3 days. Could you tell us more about how you envisioned it? We know that now we're all doing everything from home, so probably this was not the original idea, but how you're going to implement it under current circumstances, and also what are your expectations from this march?
Right. So yeah, as you said, like, unfortunately we can't do it physically. So we came with this idea. Well, other members, they came with this idea of like doing a virtual march, which also has a positive side in the sense that everyone can participate no matter where you are. And we also wanted to make very clear that for us, what is happening, like, our claims are not only for Spain, like, I think sexual oppression and sexual women's oppression affects all over Europe and all over the world. So it would be good if everyone, or I don't know, like if feminists all over could participate with us, because I think, we live in a global world, and, everything affects to everyone, or all women, right? But specifically for the March, so it's going to be on the 9th. It's going to be this Saturday, the next Saturday. And what you have to do, basically, it's like very easy. So we're asking women to take a picture of themselves doing the triangle pose, the chalice pose, which is the symbol of women. You can do it like this, or you can do it like this, I mean, as you want, and just like upload it to your social media, which Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, like whatever, and just use our hashtag that it's hashtag, it's 9M2 9M2 ND Abolitionist March. I can send it to you, and then you'll have it, or I can send it to you.
Yeah, we can then
we'll
later
publish it.
Post it in the comments.
And yeah, just take a picture of themselves and saying like why do we think abolition of prostitution, pornography, gender, or surrogacy, it's something that we have to do as women, that we have to claim as women, and giving your reasons, and just participating with us. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the 9th of May. But as I understand, this is just the beginning of your abolitionist marathon or something like this, that you also have some other activities lined up, including webinars and something else happening online. Tell us about this as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we're very excited about this because we've contacted with like few speakers. We wanted to do it physically in Madrid, but it can happen because of this situation. So what we've programmed is it's like a series of conferences, a panel of speakers that are going to be started on September 12th. On September 12th, we're going to talk about this is all online, so anyone can join. We'll be giving instructions how to join and stuff, but anyone can join. So in September 12th, for Abolition of Prostitution, we're gonna have Ingeborg Kraus and Julie Bindel. Mm-hmm. On September 13, we're going to have talking about surrogacy or reproductive exploitation, Amelia Valcárcel, which is a philosopher in Spain, and we're also going to have Renate Klein. Mm-hmm. On September 19th, talking about pornography, we're going to have Gail Dines and then Alika Keenan, which is a survivor from the sex industry in Argentina. She's going to read our demands. She's going to read this document that I was telling you that we're preparing for the government. She's going to read it as well. And on September the 20th, talking about the abolition of gender, we're going to have Raquel Rosario Sanchez and Janice Raymond. Mm-hmm. As well. So that's going to be our Congress.
And all of this will be available to public. It will be publicly live streamed and recorded, I presume. So
Yes, it's going to be live, and we're going to upload it after to YouTube, so anyone can watch. Yeah.
Okay. And what are your channels exactly? So you have a Facebook page. It's already connected in the post that we made about this interview, but we will also connect it to the interview so that anybody can find you. Do you have website and probably Twitter and Instagram?
Yes, we do have a Twitter account, which is, I believe, is the same as the Facebook account, which is @abolition. Mm-hmm. Then we're working on our website. It's something that we don't have yet, but we're working on that. We also have a WordPress site, and we also have an Instagram account. Mm-hmm. So yeah, everyone can follow us for to get more indications about the march, or that'll be great.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're supporting the march as the network. I mean, virtually at least. So we really wish you good luck with this, and we saw it attracts some attention from the feminist community. But I presume that not everybody happy about marches like this, and this is what I also would like to ask you. We know anybody who ever worked on the issue of the abolition of prostitution for some period of time, they would know that this is apart from the fact that it can be controversial, that a lot of people might not have analysis because they never took time to think about it, but there is a lot of violence happening, specifically against the women who advocate actively, who put their faces and they open their names on this subject. What are your experience as feminist movement in particular? I know that in the march that was recently in Spain, that we know that the women who came out with banners, the abolitionist banners, that they were attacked. And by attack, I do not mean, a Twitter post. As far as I remember, the women were physically assaulted. Their banners were taken away from them. They were ripped with knives and carried away. So how do you see, first of all, those people who perpetuate this kind of violence against women, and why do you think this is happening?
Well, in my personal view, I think we're talking about an industry, we're talking about a business that is second in the world after guns, I believe. It's competing, it's guns, prostituting women and girls, and drugs. So we're talking about a lot of money here. The pimp industry is just so powerful that they're not going to give away their privileges, and they're not going to give away like the power they have so easily. So for Women for Abolition last year, when we did our march in Barcelona, we got attacked as well by the representatives of the pimp industry. it wasn't about knives, but they took like spray colors and they throw it to us. They sprayed us with and so no one could see like our signs and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean that was like really violent and harassing. They were like yelling at us, and it was very uncomfortable. At the same time, yeah, I mean, as I said, like this is an industry that it's like, and we're talking about criminals here, like so it's kind of expected that we're gonna have a certain kind of backlash, but at the same time, we're counting on our governments to actually protect us, because at the end of the day, we're just claiming to end with like the sexual trafficking and the sexual prostitution of women. I mean, like our claims are legit, right? So it is expected that if you have a police, they are going to protect you. But yeah, I mean, I totally see how this could escalate.
Mm-hmm. Well, it will be, at least there will be some kind of physical barrier with this march. But yes, this is what we observed, not only in Spain. We saw it also happening even in Brussels, in Germany, in France, when there were marches on 8th of March. So it was the violence that women who were survivors of prostitution, that they were subjected to this. And on the one hand, when I think about it personally, I also see that when an industry reacts like this, for me, it's a clear indication that we must be doing something right. In a sense, we know that we're doing something right. We're trying to protect women from male violence, but that we're perhaps achieving something as well, in the sense that that there is such a reaction. And we know, of course, that anytime we step up and step out against patriarchy, there are going to be a backlash, whether this backlash comes from very conservative forces who want to take our rights for abortion away, or those who want to see us as sexual objects available for men, but there will be a backlash. So in any case, I want to say that we would be supporting, we will be supporting your march. And we're very happy that some of our members as well in Spain, they will be participating in it. And I know that some of our members, I think they would like to share through some interviews or some other digital activism that you will be doing. So they will participate in it. And just the last question, I wanted to ask specifically the situation of migrant women. So we are a Migrant Women Network. And of course, we know this is not concerning Spain only, but as you said, it's a huge industry in Spain, and we know that there is a very large trafficking of women. We already discussed it with our members in Spain, who see exactly what's happening with the women in prostitution and how badly they are affected. What would be your demands towards the government concretely in terms of support for the women who are trapped in this industry? A lot of them are undocumented, for example. We know that this is one of the big barriers why these women cannot report. They're scared to go to the police because they simply are afraid to be deported. They don't have access to employment. In this way, what you would be asking the government to support these women?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is something that it's very, very concerning to us, because the way these mafias, they work in Spain, it's horrible, like how they bring women and young women and even like girls, underage girls, and they bring them like from Africa, or they bring them from like East Europe, and they are just like they put them in a brothel, and then after a few months, they send it to another part of Spain, and then after another few months, they send it to another part of Spain, and they live totally trapped. They don't have passports, and they don't have any rights at all. And as you said, like, it's very difficult for them to report anything to the police because, sometimes it's even the police, the ones that are going, there looking to prostitute them. So it's horrible. Like, it's really, really, really concerning. So what we are asking and what we're working for is, again, a little bit like following the path from the Nordic model, and in providing solutions, providing kind of like the regulation, kind of like give them the legal status to work and live in Spain if they are like irregular workers, or if they can't work. So yeah, that's one of our demands, along with psychological support and psychological and the creation of groups that really help them to actually report and to actually deal with the trauma. But definitely legalizing their situation in Spain, it's one of our main points, because I think everyone agrees on this, and it's more than 90% of prostituted women in Spain are not from Spain. So obviously this is really, providing a solution for all these women is basically providing a solution for vast majority of women that are being prostituted right now in Spain. So it's kind of key.
Okay, well, we will also obviously support you in this demand. But
Thank you.
If you want to add anything, otherwise, I don't have more specific questions. Thank you so much. Just to say once again, thank you so much for finding time with such short notice to come to our now channel, Migrant Women Reality Watch. But if you want to add anything, do it now.
Yeah, well, just wanted to thank you, Anna, for the opportunity and all the Migrant Women Network, and hope we can work together in this and other initiatives. And I just welcome everyone to join for the march on Saturday. And let's keep working. Let's keep getting this backlash, as you were saying, because that means that we're doing something right.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Cristina, and everyone can check the page of Mujeres por la Abolición.
Perfect, you got it.
And there are other social media, and we will be also posting on our social media updates, and if we have any pictures, and of course, then when you have your webinars in September, we will be very happy to share them and to watch them, of course. So
okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm going to close now. Bye, everyone.
Okay, thanks. Bye.